Good evening. Welcome to the Brevard Sports Network. We are live here at Tom McIntyre Stadium at the campus of Melbourne High School. The Melbourne Bulldogs 0-2 host the 1-1 Satellite Scorpions. A one-man show tonight. Durand's got the camera. It is raining like crazy, folks. We will not have rosters. We will do the best we can with what we got through this rain, so you can watch it live. The stadium is empty. Satellite has won the toss and elected to receive. Satellite's head coach is Brian Helton in his second year. And the Bulldogs head coach is David McIntyre in his third season. Melbourne lost 23 seniors due to graduation, 11 transfers out of the program. However, they did get a big transfer into the program in sophomore quarterback Jordan Padala, number 9. Will try to lead the Bulldogs to their first victory of 2023. Satellite coming off a big comeback win over the Vieira Hawks last week, 29-28. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by BlackRock Engineering, Solutions Property Management, Relentless Private Equity Group, Riches Auto Tech, Natwick Insurance, If you got any scores, feel free to drop them in. Durand is monitoring the camera and the scores. I, unfortunately, cannot see anything. They got us out here in the bleachers in this rain, so we'll do what we can tonight. Tonight? For who? St. Thomas and Cocoa should be a 7:30. Usually games outside of Brevard County are a 7:30 kickoff and not a 7 p.m. kickoff. Brevard County, for some reason, we are the only ones that like to play at 7 o'clock. Number 18 set to kick off for the Bulldogs. Noah Flores is deep, along with looks like Lamb for the Scorpions. I got a chance to cover this Satellite team a few weeks ago when they hosted Heritage. Score wasn't in favor of Satellite, but this team was very impressive in the first half against Heritage. That kick's going to go out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Melbourne with the pooch kick. See if Satellite elects them to re-kick or take the ball at the 30. Satellite is going to have Melbourne re-kick, so they'll kick from the 35-yard line instead of the 40. All right, Melbourne set to kick off for the second time. Keep this one in bounds. That one's going to be another high pooch kick. It'll be fielded by Satellite right about the 34-yard line. They'll take over 1st and 10. This is a very young Melbourne team. Very undersized Melbourne team than we've seen in years past. Rayful at quarterback for the Scorps. Melbourne shows blitz. Fakes the jet sweep to Lamb. Throws a slant backside. That's number 3. He's going to be brought down by Wyatt Vitava of the Bulldogs. That'll be enough for a 6-yard gain. 2nd and 4 for Satellite. Lamb goes in motion again. Rayful's going to throw the swing out to Lamb. He's got all kinds of blockers out front. Breaks a tackle. Brought down after about a 7-yard gain. Good enough for a Satellite first down to their own 46-yard line. Satellite quickly back up to the line of scrimmage. Rayful takes a snap. He's going to hand off right side. Nowhere to go. Number 33 for Melbourne, the first man on the contact. They'll give him a yard. 2nd and 9 for the Scorps. Rayful takes a snap. It's going to pitch out to the right side. That's 24. Nowhere to go again. Big number 33 for the Bulldogs. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and long for the Scorps. Defensive battle tonight. 2 of the best defensive coaches in Brevard County, and Brian Helton for the Scorpions and Jeff Panucci of the Bulldogs. It's going to be a pitch out to the left side. 28, that's Noah Flores looking for some room. He's going to be knocked out of bounds by number 15 of Melbourne. We're going to have a holding penalty. Wyatt Vitava spilling the running back out. Going to get held by the fullback. 10-yard penalty on Satellite. Let's see if Melbourne takes him back. It is a 10-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. That is a 2023 rule change. It is no longer from the spot of the hold. It'll be from the line of scrimmage, so it should bring up 3rd and 19 for Satellite. 9:57 left in the first quarter. Satellite on their opening drive. 3rd and 19, Rayful in the shotgun. Rayful takes a snap. He's got all day to throw. Throws it right on the 24, right up the middle. There's Wyatt Vitava and a host of Bulldogs. That'll be a gain of 13. That's going to bring up 4th, and we'll call it 6 for Satellite. Satellite is going for it. Rayful under center. Gonna run a bootleg to the right side. Rayful's got room. He's got 24 open. Pass is caught. Inbounds down to the Melbourne 36-yard line. That'll be a Satellite first down. Outside linebacker went for the play fake. Didn't stay as deep as the deepest man. And Coach Panucci makes a quick substitution. 1st and 10, Satellite. Rayful takes a snap, a little counter underneath. Number 24 carrying the ball. Big 51 for the Bulldogs there on the stop. Something you don't see too much these days is the old I formation in high school football. Dan Burke will run it to death, but Not something you've seen out of Satellite in the last couple of years. Handoff left side goes to Lamb. He breaks the tackle. 51 there again for the Bulldogs. Gets back to the line of scrimmage. That's going to bring up 3rd and 8. 3rd and 8 for Satellite. Third and 8 for Satellite. Rayful takes the snap. He's looking downfield. Melbourne blitzes underneath, almost intercepted by number 44 of the Bulldogs. Incomplete. Brings up 4th and 8 for Satellite. It looks like Satellite's going to go for it again on the Melbourne 34-yard line. 7:39 left in the first quarter. Oh, they are going to attempt a field goal. "51-yarder for the Scorps. High snap. Vitavo blocks the kick. Wyatt Vitavo with the big block for the Melbourne defense. Melbourne takes over 1st and 10 on their own 35-yard line. Big special teams play by the Melbourne Bulldogs. Solutions Property Management, located right here in Brevard County. Solutions Property Management would like to introduce themselves as a leading competitor in property management services. They have property managers that have over 16 years' experience in a specialized field. Solutions Property Management maintains a disciplined relationship with their current tenants. However, they understand that the prompt service with compassion is also necessary to retain a healthy tenancy. 1st and 10, Melbourne on their own 35-yard line. Padala takes a snap, throws a quick out. That's Vitavo. He's playing in the slot. He breaks the tackle. He's going to have enough right at the first down marker. Let's see if they give it to him. It'll be good enough for a Melbourne first down. Wyatt Vitava, he might be 5'2", 130 pounds. I promise you, he brings the punch with him. Pure athlete. First and 10, Bulldogs. Padala drops back, got somebody in his face, tries to throw it underneath, falls incomplete, intended for number 4. Pressure up the middle from the Satellite defense, number 90. O'Galley is up 8-0 over Winter Haven. Commodores looking to get an offensive touchdown going. They've been struggling this season on offense, but that defense is stout with a stud special teams player in Xavier Larisi. Melbourne says a man in motion is going to fake it. Padala's going to throw, swing past the 4. He's going to drop it. 3rd and 10 for Melbourne. Folks, it is raining. It is nice and slippery out here.
3rd down for
$6:51
Melbourne.
left in the first quarter. Timeout, Melbourne. Not lined up properly on offense. Coach Lyle Neighbor, the offense coordinator, calls a timeout. BlackRock Engineering and Technology, BlackRock Engineering and Technology's team of cybersecurity software, network engineers, and strategic leaders are direct. They do not shy away from providing you with what they think will work best for your organization. BlackRock has certified service-disabled veteran-owned small business as well as a minority-owned business. BlackRock will collaborate with you. They will challenge traditional norms in order to orient an organization to a mindset of forward thinking in order to seize their vision quickly without the fluff, without wasted time. BlackRock offers clear direction, complete with comprehensive solutions as your trusted advisor and a partner in your success. Where the other companies only provide vague direction, BlackRock provides the engineering to give you tangible success. 321-428-3688. Oh, I did get confirmation O'Galley's special teams takes the kickoff to the house. Melbourne with a screen here. Jordan Padala dumps it off. He's going to be tackled after a 5-yard gain. Great tackle by number 22 of the Scorpions. Durand O'Galley took the opening kickoff back. So, fourth and 5. No microphone for Durand today. He's trying to manage the camera, the umbrella, and everything in between. Melbourne's press box is about built in the 1930s, so it's got room for 2 people. High snap. Looks like Watava's going to keep this one. He's got a first down. Wyatt Watava. Big play call by head coach David McIntyre. We got an officials timeout, water break. Relentless Private Equity Group LLC is the management company for Relentless Private Equity Fund LP, focused on converting capital into investments in commercial real estate and early stage companies. For more information, call Larry Jarnes at 774-696-6000. Email Larry at relentlesspeg.com or visit online at www.relentlesspeg.com. This read sheet is about as wet as it can get, so all right, 1st and 10, Melbourne on the satellite 41-yard line. Handoff up the middle. That looks like the freshman Kamarion Johnson, brought down after a 3-yard gain.
Johnson on about a 4-yard pickup for the Bulldogs, makes it 2nd down.
2nd and 6 for Melbourne. Quarterback Jordan Padala is out of the game. Number 6 checks in at quarterback for Melbourne. Handoff again, goes to Kamari Johnson, makes 2 men miss. The freshman rumbling, stumbling down to the satellite 26-yard line. Good enough for a Melbourne first down. That first down brought to you by Natwick Insurance. Folks, again, we apologize. The rosters are wet. It's raining. So we're going to go with numbers tonight. I do know some of the players' numbers, having done Satellites game 2 weeks ago, and I've coached some of these Melbourne kids, so I do have some names. Padala takes a snap. He's going to throw a deep ball down the middle of the field. Intercepted by Satellite. That's the freshman Noah Flores. What a play. Padala throws into double coverage, and the Scorps make them pay. They'll take over 1st and 10 on their own 20. Cocoa down 7 to St. Thomas. Palm Bay up 7-0 over Harmony. I appreciate the scores. Keep them coming. Little I formation. That's Flores. Makes a one-man miss. He's cut. He's got speed. A freshman for Satellite. All the way down to midfield. 30-yard gain by Noah Flores. I'm impressed. Satellite lining up in the I formation. They know Melbourne's defense is undersized, and they have the advantage up front. Here they are right back into the spread formation. Rayfield takes a snap, hands off right side, 24. Great job again by number 33 of Melbourne and number 99, Landon Malady on the tackle. Pickup of 1 for Satellite, 2nd and 9. Rayfield takes a snap. He's going to pitch it out to the right side. Number 24. Incomplete pass. Rayfield took a shot from the middle linebacker of Melbourne. 3rd and 9 for Satellite. .332 here left in the first quarter. We are tied at 0. Rayfield takes the snap. Throws a quick slant to number 3. The corner fell down. It's going to be caught. First down, Satellite. Brought down by number 8 of the Bulldogs. Natwick Insurance. First down for the Scorps. Pitch out to the right side. That's Flores. He's looking for some room. Brought down after a good 5-yard run for Satellite. 2nd and 5. Satellite comes out in an empty set. Rayfield alone in the backfield. Shotgun and sends Flores in motion. Going to fake the pitch. Going to run a quarterback trap underneath. Running over the Melbourne defenders. Brought down. He's going to be close to a Satellite first down. Number 21, Walton on the tackle. And they're going to give it to him. Satellite first down. 1st and 10 on the Melbourne 29-yard line. Another Natwick Insurance. First down. Back in the out formation. Flores gets it. Flores cuts it all the way back across the grain. Spins. Freshman tailback still churning. Folks, that was an ISO play to the left side. Behind the left tackle. Flores plants, cuts all the way back to the right tackle and makes something out of nothing. Gain of 8 for Satellite. 2nd and 2. On the Melbourne 21-yard line. Rayfield sends a man in motion. He's going to throw the swing out to the left. He's got blockers 24. Driven out of bounds about the 18-yard line. First down, Satellite. 1:29 left in the first quarter. That first down was brought to you by Rich's Auto Tech here in West Melbourne, Florida. Satellite back to the I formation. It's going to run a little trap underneath. 28 on the carry. That's Flores. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 for Satellite. Takes the snap. We got a flag on the defensive side of the field. It looks like we're going to have offsides on Melbourne. False start on Satellite on the wide receiver. Back him up 5. That's going to bring up 2nd down and 15. 49 seconds left in the first quarter. Rayfield takes a snap. Rayfield looking. Throwing the corner out to the outside. That's going to be intercepted by number 4. That is Collins, the senior DB for Melbourne. Both teams trading turnovers here early in the first quarter. Melbourne takes over deep in their own territory. 1st and 10 on the 8-yard line. 27 seconds left in the first quarter. Rayfield threw into a crowd of Melbourne Bulldogs. Looked like those routes all ran next to each other. Someone might not have ran the right one. Melbourne makes them pay. 1st and 10, Bulldogs. Wyatt Vatava lined at quarterback for Melbourne. Takes a direct snap. He's looking for some run room. Plants on that inside foot. He fell. Got to plant on that outside foot. Going to be a loss of 1 for Melbourne.
2nd down for the Bulldogs.
Looks like Melbourne definitely spent some time this week making some packages for the playmaker. Melbourne's going to let that quarter in. That'll be the end of the first quarter here at Melbourne High School. Satellite 0, Melbourne 0.
Start the second quarter with your Melbourne Bulldogs 0 and the visiting Satellite Scorpions 0. Melbourne High School would like to thank Rich's Auto Tech for sponsoring tonight's game. We'd also like to thank Dr. Jeanette PA.
Palm Bay's up 14-0 over Harmony. Coco strikes on St. Thomas. It is 7-6. That's going to be a close ball game, Durand.
Poseidon Pools, Andrew's Magic Touch Cleaning, Yard Card Brevard, Laura Dowling Roy Realtor, Subway Melbourne, Mega O'Malley's, The Jump Generals, Infolio Roofing, Best Electric, Murphy RV, Dr. Medic, and the Alligator.
All right, as we get start the second quarter, it's 2nd and 11 for Melbourne on their own 7-yard line.
Bulldogs facing a 2nd down.
Padala back in at quarterback for Melbourne. Takes the snap, hands off up the middle, number 28. That is Johnson fighting for it. He may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and long for Melbourne.
But it's going to be 3rd down.
Satellite shows pressure. Satellite brings pressure. Padala got nowhere to go. He's going to be sacked. They're going to mark him at the 2-yard line. 4th and Vero Beach for Melbourne. They're going to be punting out of their own end zone. Ball sits on the 2-yard line. Great job by the Satellite defense. Vatava is back to punt for Melbourne. It's going to be a low kick. It's going to bounce and roll. Lamb's going to let it roll. Down at the 46-yard line of Satellite. Nice punt for the Bulldogs. Yeah, this wet turf will let that ball roll. 2012, Carson Jackson kicked an 80-yard punt against Bayside for Melbourne in this nice wet turf. It hits a little different than the grass when it's raining like this. Satellite takes over 1st and 10 on their own 46. Rayfield takes a snap. Throws post corner, got a man wide open. That's number 3. Nice route. Touchdown, Satellite. And number 3 hit him with a post corner route. Wide open, got the corner to bite. Satellite strikes quick. He had all day back there to throw the ball. .10:07 left in the first half. Flags on the extra point. Offsides on Melbourne. That'll move the ball half the distance to the goal. Satellite decides they're going to bring the offense on the field. Try to go for 2 points. Coach Panucci trying to get the attention of the kids on the field. Let them know we're on defense. We ain't blocking a kick now. Rayfield under center. Flores deep in the backfield. He's going to run a pitch to the left side. He gets in. Satellite converts the 2-point conversion. They'll go up 8-0 with 10:07 left in the first half. That touchdown brought to you by Black Rock Engineering. Looks like the band is showing up for Satellite. It's been very quiet here. No band for either team. No students for either team. Satellite's kick is going to be a high kick fielded by Vatava at the 20. Wyatt's looking for some room. Breaks a tackle, brought down at the 37-yard line. Thought we may have had a flag there. Had a little shoving match into that play. Melbourne takes over 1st and 10 on their own 39-yard line. 9:56 left in the first half. Padala sends Collins in motion, low snap, throws a swing out. Satellite's right there. Big number 11 was waiting for it. Loss of 4 for Melbourne.
Second down for the Bulldogs.
Second and 14 for Melbourne on their own 35-yard line. Satellite bringing pressure again. Padala's going to throw the intended for it looked like a skinny post to Collins. Overthrows him. 3rd and 14 for Melbourne. Padala takes a snap. It's going to throw a screen to the left side. He's got number 10 on the reception. He's looking. He runs right into the middle of the Satellite defense. Blockers went left. He went right. That'll be a good enough for a 7-yard gain. So 4th and 7 for Melbourne. O'Galley up 15-0 over Winter Haven. Cocoa up 9-7 over St. Thomas. Vitavo set the punt for the Bulldogs. Be a nice high kick. It's going to go right. Takes a Melbourne bounce to the 32-yard line. Satellite takes over. 8:05 left in the first half. Heritage up 3-0 on Centennial. I fully expected that one to be a running clock, Durand, but who knows what the weather's playing a factor in down there in West Malabar. He's got all day to throw. Intended for number 5 in between 2 Satellite defenders. 2nd and 10 for Satellite. Melbourne has not gotten any pressure on the quarterback. Rayful has had all night to throw the football. Wasn't able to connect. 2nd and 10 Satellite. 7:58 left in the second quarter. Melbourne shows blitz. Backs off. Handoff 24 around the right side. Brought down by number 51, the big middle linebacker for Melbourne after a gain of 1 yard line. 3rd and 9 for Satellite. This is one of the quietest football games I think I've ever been a part of. It is just dead silent in here. Rayful takes a snap, tries throwing it out 13. Big stick. There's Vitava, the big playmaker for Melbourne. After a gain of 1, 4th and long for Satellite. Satellite leads Melbourne 8-0 with 6:50 left in the first half. Rockledge up 13-7 over Vieira. Satellite's going to call timeout. Let that one roll all the way down. Now Rockledge is up 19-7. Melbourne down 8-0. 6:19 left in the first half. Relentless Private Equity Group. Relentless Private Equity Group, LLC, is the management company for Relentless Private Equity Fund, LP, focused on converting capital into investments in commercial real estate and early stage companies. For more information, call Larry Jarnes at 774-696-6000. Email Larry at relentlesspeg.com or visit online at www.relentlesspeg.com. Got a pause and timeout. They need the Melbourne trainer on the Satellite sideline. All right, back to action. 4th and 8 for Satellite, lined up in the punt formation. Be a high snap. He's got plenty of time to kick. Melbourne didn't rush. That's going to be a high floater. I think Vatava wanted to try to pick that one up. It'll be down. That Satellite on the Melbourne 43-yard line. Bulldogs take over 1st and 10. This drive brought to you by Natwick Insurance. Officials timeout, water break. Again, 6:03 left here in the first half. Melbourne trailing 8-0 to Satellite. Daryl Durand behind the camera. I don't know if I like this solo broadcast. I don't got nobody to talk to. Miss my man Blue. He over at Heritage, hanging out in the press box, nice and dry. We're soaking wet here. Titusville up 21-0 over Celebration.
First and 10 for Melbourne. 6:03 left to play in the second quarter.
First and 10, Melbourne. Padala lines up in the shotgun. Sends a man in motion. He got hit. He tries to throw this one deep. Almost intercepted by number 1 of Satellite. Padala's had pressure in his face all night, that young Melbourne offensive line. Number 6 checks in at quarterback for Melbourne. Satellite shows pressure, brings pressure. Number 6 is going to try keeping this one. Little read option, breaks a tackle. All the way down to midfield. It's going to bring up 3rd and 3 for Melbourne. Merritt Island 13-0 over Astronaut. And Holy Trinity 14, Palm Beach Christian 0. Padala back in at quarterback for Melbourne. Gets Satellite to jump off sides. Great discipline by the Melbourne offense. Coach Helton not happy on that sideline. First and 10 Melbourne. That first down brought to you by Natwick Insurance on the Satellite 45-yard line. Padala drops back. He's going to step into this throw. Throws it underneath the number 4. That's Collins right through his hands. Second and 10 for Satellite. I'm sorry, second and 10 for Melbourne as they trail 8-0 with 4:50 left in the first half. Looks like the rain has stopped for the moment. Vatava in at quarterback takes the snap. He's going to run around the left side. Tries to spin. He's going back around the right side. Makes another spin move. We got flags all over the field. Ball comes out. We got a fumble. We got 7 flags on the field. We got helmets flying all over the place. And we got an injured Scorpion on the play. I have a feeling it's going to be Satellite football. It was a couple blindside blocks here by Melbourne. Drew the penalties. And unless they're going to call Satellite or Melbourne's running back down. Nope, it is in fact going to be Satellite football. We got a personal foul block in the back on Melbourne. A personal foul helmet to helmet on Melbourne. Fumble recovered by Satellite. First and 10 Satellite on their own 37-yard line. .435 here left in the first half. Satellite 8, Melbourne 0. Let's see if they can bring the golf cart over here for the injured Scorpion. Satellite player is up on his own feet.
Satellite takes over first and 10 from their own 37.
All right, back to action. Satellite football, first and 10 on their own 37-yard line. Satellite up 8-0, 4:35 left in the first half. Rayfield takes a snap, hands off Flores. Flores again, big hole backside. Flores makes a man miss. He's off to the races. He's got speed. Dragged down by number 4, Collins, at the Melbourne 22-yard line. The young freshman with some wheels. And Daryl, that play has been designed to run off tackle on the left side every time. But Melbourne, backside defensive end, gets so far upfield. He's leaving that alley. He cutting it back. First and 10, Satellite on the Melbourne 22-yard line. Handoff, 24. Oh, Rayfield pulls it, swings it out to the right. That's number 8. He's going to be brought down around the 15-yard line. Satellite enters the Natwick Insurance red zone.
Complete pass by Satellite makes it second down.
Second and 1 for Satellite. Flores checks back into the game. I formation for Satellite. Wing back in motion. Quarterback sneak right up the gut. Gain of 6. First down, Satellite. Down to the Melbourne 8-yard line. First and goal, Scorps. Rayfield takes this, sends a man in motion, takes the snap. It's going to swing it out backside. That's going to be incomplete, intended for number 8. That's just the quarterback's got to settle down and throw that one. Coco 16, St. Thomas 7. Coco 16, St. Thomas 7. Win, lose, or draw, Durand, I would say the Coco Tigers are for real and have a 99.99% chance of repeating as state champs. Class 2S. Rayfield takes a snap. He's going to bobble it, rolling out right. Throws it. Almost intercepted by number 4, Collins. He drops it in the end zone. Third and goal from the 8-yard line for Satellite. Those are ones you can't drop if you're the Melbourne Bulldogs. Flores with the pitch out to the left side. He tries to get around the edge. Melbourne's defense is there. We got a flag on a play. We're going to have a face mask or a late hit. Palm Bay 30, Harmony 0. Personal foul. Horse collar on Melbourne. That'll be first and goal, Satellite from the Melbourne 4-yard line.
Half the distance to the goal. Puts it on the 3-yard line for Satellite.
Satellite into Natwick Insurance red zone. High snap. Rayfield's able to corral it. Landon Malady, the first one back there for the Bulldogs. Loss of 2. 1:34 left in the first half. Satellite 8, Melbourne 0. Satellite on the Melbourne 6-yard line. All right, so that personal foul was not an automatic first down. So it is 4th and goal from the 6-yard line for Satellite.
So Satellite actually facing a 4th down. They did not get a first.
Timeout, Satellite. They're going to make a decision.
They take a timeout to discuss their options. You have a minute 29 till halftime. And then if you run down and get that cheeseburger, you can catch the last minute of the half.
1:29 left in the first half. Satellite up 8-0. Rich's Auto Tech. This timeout is brought to you by Rich's Auto Tech in West Melbourne.
Ashley Westbrook and Remax Solutions. Rich's Auto Tech. Coastal Hyundai. Rumble Cookies. DD Home Realty. Elijah X Shoots Photography. Elite Pavers. Ferguson Automotive. Florida Breeze. FWH and Associates. Brenda Sabita Photography. And Melbourne Realty. Thank you for your support of Melbourne football. Satellite comes out facing a 4th down deep in Bulldog territory. Let's make some noise for the defense. Let's get loud.
All right, Satellite going to go for it. 4th and goal from the 6-yard line. Flores lined up in the I formation. Rayfield's going to keep it. He's going to roll out right, looking for a man. Incomplete. Melbourne stops Satellite. If you're Melbourne, you got to run this ball and get it out here, get it out of the half here. We got a flag on the field. I apologize. We have a flag on the field on this near sideline away from the play. Ineligible receiver downfield on Satellite, declined by Melbourne. Melbourne takes over 1st and 10 on their own 6-yard line. 1:20 left in the first half. Bulldogs trail by 8 to Satellite. Cocoa Beach is up 21-0. Melbourne got to play this one smart, Durand. They just need to run this clock out and get to halftime. Don't do anything crazy down in your own end zone. Satellite showing pressure. Hands it off to the freshman. That's Johnson. Gain of 11. First down, Melbourne. Padala takes snap. Low snap. He's going to roll out left. Gets it out to number 19. He's going to be met by number 8 of Satellite. Nowhere to go. Stays in bounds. Clock is still running. We got a flag on the play. We have a flag on the play, and Coach McIntyre is signaling for a timeout. So let's see what we got here. After the play, we have unsportsmanlike on Satellite. That'll be a 15-yard penalty for Melbourne. 44 seconds until halftime. 1st and 10 Melbourne on their own 29-yard line. They trail by 8. Padala in the shotgun. He's going to roll out right. Looking. Gets it out of the quick. Number 19 catches it. Gets out of bounds around the 36-yard line. Gain of 7 for Melbourne. 32 seconds left here in the first half. St. Thomas strikes, so Cocoa leads St. Thomas 16-14. Second and 4 for Melbourne. Padala takes a snap. Going to throw the screen. Oh, intercepted by Satellite. And he's going to take this one to the house. Touchdown, Satellite. Daryl, I told you if I'm Melbourne, I got to go to half. I know you got a young offense and you're looking for some things to shake up, but that's the last thing that you could have happen if you're a Melbourne Bulldog. .21 seconds left until the end of the first half. Satellite up 14-0 pending the extra point. Rockledge 25, Vieira 14. Kick is up, kick is good. Satellite 15, Melbourne 0. 21 seconds until halftime. Number 22 for the Scorps on the Black Rock Engineering pick 6 for Satellite. That's been Melbourne's MO all season so far. I mean, Daryl, like I told you before, let's be honest. There's no excuses. This program won't make any excuses. That's a JV football team for Melbourne right now. They are freshman and sophomore heavy. They're undersized. You graduate 23 seniors and you lose 11 kids to the transfer. I mean, that's 34. That's 34 kids off of your roster from last year's team. That's just the nature of high school football. Some years you're getting them, some years you're losing them. Satellite set to kick off. That's going to be a deal. Watava's going to catch that one about the 5-yard line. Makes one man miss. Looking for some room, brought down at the 25-yard line. 11 seconds until halftime.
11 seconds left in the second quarter. It's 1st and 10 for Melbourne.
Number 22 for Satellite got a pick 6. I apologize. It was raining. The rosters are no longer serviceable. Everything is wet here. I will check Max Preps in a second, and I will tell you who it was. Seth Hufty. If that Max Preps roster is correct. Number 22, Seth Hufty on the interception, the pick 6. 11 seconds. Padala takes a snap. He's looking for some room. He's going to try carrying this one. Ripped out of bounds. Clock is still rolling. That should take us to halftime. At half, it is Oh, we got a discussion here. What we got going on? It is halftime. Satellite leads Melbourne 15-0 at half. Don't know if there will be any bands playing or not. Headset will come off. We'll see you guys here for the second half at Tom McIntyre Stadium.
Like to give a shout out to P2K, your underground excavating and vac truck service. P2K, Chrissy Dabney, please reach out to them for all your underground and excavating with the vac truck needs. P2K, Christy Dabney, thank you very much. And like to give a shout out to Andrews Building and Remodeling, who just came on board tonight. We'll have graphics and everything next week, just with the rain and everything, just a minimum service tonight. But appreciate everybody for tuning into the broadcast here at Tom McIntyre Stadium. Billy Palmer's been doing a great job, and we'll see you after this. We think the band's going to come out. If not, we will see you after Miss Clayball. The score is 15-0. Satellite. Melbourne's defense been playing tough for a young defense as they are. Offense just have made, the young mistakes here tonight. So Satellite leads 15-0 here at Tom McIntyre Stadium. Playmakers for Melbourne tonight have been number 22, Wyatt Fatava, all-around athlete out here, both sides of the ball. Number 6, Thorpe's been doing a good job, and number 4 for Melbourne's been doing a great job here thus far. Around the county here, Cypress Creek leads 20-6 over MCC. I seen Bayside's up on Fort Pierce Central, 13-0. Palm Bay's up huge on Harmony. Rockledge probably, that's a halftime score, 25-14. Thought that would be a little bit bigger. Rockledge coming off of 2 losses, but the hardest schedule in the county. They look to get that turned around tonight at Vieira and getting their first dub. Cocoa up on St. Thomas Aquinas, and we all thought, Cocoa could start 0-3 and now could start 3-0 on the season. That is a audio broadcast only. Allen and Knock is down there at St. Thomas. Cocoa Beach up on Pearson Taylor last 21-0. Titusville 35-0. They're off to a 3-0 start. And Palm Bay 30-0 on Harmony. So that's the scores right now that we have. Halftime score is 16-14. I'll put the Mel High score up here right now. Every year it rains here at Melbourne on me. And luckily Billy Palmer here tonight. Hopefully we'll be back on the mic here at Tom McIntyre Stadium next week as all the Melbourne home games, and we should have a couple road games here on the network for you. Like to thank Hooters for our pregame meal. As every week they do when Melbourne's home, they feed our crew. So thank you, Melbourne Hooters. Folks, if you're looking for some good youth action, I know we'll have the Bayside games on BSN tomorrow. West Melbourne travels down to Veterans Park to take on the Palm Bay Pirates as a, great rivalry continues again from West Melbourne and Palm Bay Pirates. That's been going on a long time, even when me and Billy Palmer were playing for West Melbourne. As West Melbourne, one of his players walks right by the camera. So the rain has subsided for the time being, and there's a few more of the players, Durfus and Wyatt Fatava's brother. And it looks like Hershey the Hooter. I call them Hooters because they call me Coach Hoot. But I'd like to welcome everybody into the broadcast, try to keep you company here for the time being of halftime. Let me see if I can find some scores for you. Seven nothing. Heritage leads Centennial. So 7-0 there. Hustlers down 20-6 to the Coyotes. And the Raiders 31-14 at half at Hawk Stadium. I think the Raiders should get a couple more scores on the Hawks tonight, trying to get their first win of the season. Trying to find the Merritt Island score. Merritt Island up 20-0 all over a young astronaut team. Try to find the O'Galley score if I can reach out to my man Larice here. Let me dial up Manny Larice here. Again, you're watching the Broad Sports Network here at Tom McIntyre Stadium. Billy Palmer doing a great job on the mic tonight. Every year it rains on myself. I am Double D Daryl Durand here behind the scenes. Hopefully everybody's having a great night watching football and relaxing. NFL already having I call it an upset victory last night. Detroit beating the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, 21-20 in Kansas City. Got some good college football on tomorrow. Florida looks to bounce back after 2 hard losses. Try to get actually just 1 loss. Try to get a win Saturday. Coach Billy's Florida State Seminoles are been doing pretty good. I don't want to see the November game. I know we're a young Gators team this year. So great college football on tomorrow. Great youth games going around the county. If you're a parent, player, good luck tomorrow. Have fun. It's all about you guys. Don't worry about nothing else. West Melbourne's flag makeup games are Sunday. I have the privilege of coaching a flag team at West Melbourne, and Coach Bernucci, the defensive coordinator and the BSN Defensive Coach of the Year. Got his little guy out there, and I'll have his other son next year, and Eric McIntyre, who this stadium is named after his dad. His dad was a coach, principal here, and a coach and principal at Rockledge High. Little McIntyre, Nash McIntyre, is now at West Melbourne Youth, just like his fathers and uncles. Got a lot of former Melbourne players on our team. Wisniewski, Coach Blue's son's on our team from Heritage. Dean Benson's helping us out. I'm on our team. It's a great, love being around them. Garrett Snyder, head coach. Congratulations to the Stampede and the Wrestlers on their win on Wednesday. Makeup games this Sunday at Rhodes Park. Got the Longhorns versus the Wranglers, and the Stampede versus the Wrestlers. If you're looking to watch some football, some flag football, that's Sunday at Rhodes Park. And O'Galley is 21-0 up on Winter Park. And O'Galley, I had him number 2 in my pick'em, your top 7. And I had, Coco O'Galley. I had Rockledge at 3. Rockledge has the toughest schedule here on the county, or in the county, excuse me. So I'd go Coco O'Galley right now, 1 and 2. I mean, they're off. They're going to be off to a 3-0 start. Both of those. I think one of the surprise programs around the county for high school football is the Merritt Island Mustangs, who are another young team, but are playing great quality football right now. Rockledge trying to get their first win on the season. Melbourne trying to get their first win on the season tonight. But Satellite up right now 15-0 on your Melbourne Bulldogs here at Tom McIntyre Stadium. So as both teams come back out to the field, I want to say Melbourne gets the ball the second half. Satellite had the ball the first half. I could be wrong because it was raining and I was trying to hold the umbrella and the camera and everything all at once. But, once again, I'd like to thank P2K, your underground excavating, vac truck service needs, Christy Dabney. Look them up, P2K. If you need to message us here at BSN or my personal Facebook page, please do so. Daryl Durand or BSN's page, and we'll get you in contact with P2K, underground excavating and vac truck service needs. Andrews Framing and Remodeling, like to thank them for coming on board tonight. We'll have them on the broadcast, and all could not do this broadcast without Rich's Auto Tech. Rich's Auto Tech, home of the million-mile warranty, and anywhere I go, anything I broadcast, anything I do, they're always there. All of my support's always there. P2K and Andrews, I got a couple more coming on board, so I just like to give a shout out to my sponsors that follow me anywhere I go and give back to the kids so we can do these broadcasts, because without the local support here from the community, we could not be here tonight. So thank you all for your local support of our broadcast. The West Melbourne, I believe it's the third annual Christmas Parade, will be here on BSN this year, live from West Melbourne. But like to thank all of our servicemen and women as we get close to the 9/11 Remembrance Day on Monday. Thank you for your service. I know a lot of sheriffs and everything, and one actually called me tonight, and I was like, yeah, you can have access to whatever you need, and they serve and protect and guide this country, and just like to give a big shout out to the firefighters, everybody that we're going to remember on Monday. So God bless you all, and God bless this great country. So we're going to get back to football here at Tom McIntyre Stadium and give this back to the man, Billy Palmer. So good luck tomorrow, Coach, against the Pirates.
Gutters, Sarah Hawks, Houston State Farm Insurance, Linda Jeffrey Scholl, EXP Realty, Tree Service Express, Victory Casino Cruises, Visiting Angels, and 523 Creations. As you walk around the stadium, make sure you look at the banners. All these companies and all these services support Bulldog athletics and cheerleading. Make sure you look into their quotes and see what they can help you with.
Did you go over the halftime scores? Coco winning at half against St. Thomas. It's always good talking to yourself. All right, as we get ready for the second half here, Satellite leading Melbourne 15-0. Satellite set to kick off. We'll try to read these wet rosters here. Number 97 set to kick off for Satellite. That's Caleb Garner, the junior kicker. Batava is deep for Melbourne. That one's going to go in the end zone. Melbourne will take over 1st and 10 on their own 20. And we got all kinds of flags coming in the field. Folks, there's a lot of chirping at halftime when both teams went back to the locker room between both teams. So, see where this one gets marked off at. Looks like it's going to be both ways. We got personal foul on Satellite, dead ball personal foul on Melbourne, offsetting. So Melbourne will take over 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line.
Offsetting personal fouls against Satellite and Melbourne. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from the 20.
All right, Melbourne takes over 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line to start the second half. Padala and Johnson lined up in the backfield for Melbourne. Handoff goes to the freshman Johnson, nowhere to go. Gets back to the line of scrimmage, brought down by number 8. Atticus Henderson, the senior linebacker for Satellite. 2nd and 10 for Melbourne. This drive brought to you by BlackRock Engineering.
Second down for the Bulldogs.
Padala takes the snap. He's going to throw the wheel route out to the Johnson. He's got it down the sideline. The freshman with a punishing blow down to the 46-yard line. Great job by number 28, Kamarion Johnson.
That wakes up the crowd. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from the 47.
People starting to roll into the game now. Halftime's over. Rain stopped. 1st and 10 Melbourne on their own 47. Padala switches the running back over to the left side. Draws back a pass. Going to throw it quick to number 7. Incomplete. That's Deuce Ingram, the intended receiver. 2nd and 10. Padala checks out. Batava checks in. Batava takes a snap. He's looking for some room. Tries to spin. He's got nowhere to go. He's going to lose one. Loss of 2. We got a flag. It appears to be on number, I'm sorry, it appears to be on Satellite. Got an injured Bulldog on the play. Latava was hurt. He's good now. Personal foul, unsportsmanlike on Satellite, 15-yard penalty, first down Melbourne.
Unsportsmanlike against Satellite. It's going to make it a first down Bulldog.
Melbourne will now be 1st and 10 on the Satellite 39-yard line.
First and 10 from the Satellite 39.
Padala takes a snap. It's a low snap. He's going to get out of his hands quick. That's caught by number 10, Jack Casey, the junior receiver. Gain of 6, 2nd and 4 for Melbourne. 10:34 left in the third quarter. Satellite 15, Melbourne 0. Padala takes snap, hands off the middle. That's Kamarian Johnson. He breaks out to the left side. Down to the Satellite 20-yard line. They're going to mark him out at the 22. Good enough for a Melbourne first down. Both of these squads got two sensational freshman athletes in Kamarion Johnson and Noah Flores. Timeout Satellite, 10:23 left in the third quarter. BlackRock Engineering and Technologies team of cybersecurity, software, network engineers, and strategic leaders are direct. They do not shy away from providing you with what they think will work best for your organization. BlackRock is a certified service, disabled veteran-owned small business as well as a minority-owned business. BlackRock will collaborate with you. They will challenge traditional norms in order to orient an organization to a mindset of forward thinking in order to seize their vision quickly, without the fluff, without wasted time. BlackRock offers clear direction, complete with comprehensive solutions as your trusted advisor and a partner in your success. Where other companies only provide vague direction, BlackRock provides the engineering to give you tangible success. 321-428-3688. 1st and 10, Melbourne on the Satellite 22-yard line. Padala's going to throw a deep ball here to number 10. He had him, overthrew him. A little touch on that one, intended for Jack Casey of the Bulldogs, 2nd and 10. Padala takes a snap. He's going to roll out right. Nowhere to go. Brought down, sacked by number 4 of Satellite. That is Scotty Siemens, the junior nickel corner. A loss of 8, 3rd and long for Melbourne. Padala drops back, throws the try, intended for Kamarian Johnson, overthrows him, 4th and long for Melbourne.
Bulldogs looking at a 4th down on the 30-yard line.
4th and long. Padala brings the offense out in the gun. 2-by-2. Padala drops back. Going to throw this one up. Throws it out of bounds. He took a shot. Turnover on downs. 1st and 10, Satellite.
Ball goes over on down. Satellite takes over. 1st and 10.
.9:28 left in the 3rd quarter. Offsides on Melbourne.
Offsides against the Bulldogs. Makes it 1st and 5 for Satellite.
Rayful takes the snap. Throws a screen out. That is number 5. He breaks a few tackles. It's going to be a gain of, we'll call it 3. Tristan White on the reception. 2nd and 2 for Satellite. Tristan White now in at quarterback for Satellite. We saw him against Heritage. He was running the rock. Sends a man in motion. He'll do just that, a little bit of quarterback counter. Tristan White around the edge, brought down by number 2, Robinson, but after a Satellite 1st down.
First down for the Scorpions.
That 1st down brought to you by Natwick Insurance. The bands have showed up, Durand. Ball's out, fumble. Tristan White on a carry. Melbourne pounced on it, but I think it came back out the other side and was recovered by Satellite. 2nd and 8 for Satellite.
Second down for Satellite.
Second and 8. Man in motion is Lamb. Throwing it deep. Tristan White incomplete. Number 4 on the defensive stop. That is Keani Collins. Number 8, Noah McNair, the sophomore linebacker, applying the pressure. 3rd and 8 for Satellite. 7:46 left in the 3rd quarter. Satellite leads 15-0. Rayful takes the snap. Throws it underneath. See if that one goes to. It looked like it was intercepted by Melbourne. Intercepted by number 51. Johnny Wright, the senior leader of the Melbourne defense. Melbourne takes over 1st and 10 on their own 45-yard line.
Defense coming up big on that series of plays, turning the ball over from Satellite.
First and 10, Bulldogs. Padala lined up in the shotgun. Takes the snap. He's looking, throws it quick underneath. That's number 19 on the reception. James Nolmeyer, the sophomore receiver, 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7. Satellite bringing pressure. He's going to be sacked for a loss, a big loss. Number 8 and number 22 back there for the Scorps. That is Henderson and Hufty. 3rd and Vero Beach for Melbourne. 6:28 and rolling. Melbourne with trips open, trips to the wide side of the field, the far side of the field on your screen. A low snap, Padala tries to pick it up, and he's going to be sacked again. That's number 1, Alan Steffen of the Scorps. And it'll be 4th into Fort Pierce for Melbourne. They look like they're going to bring out the punt team. 5:51 and rolling left in the third quarter. Satellite 15, Melbourne 0. Officials timeout. Oh, no, another timeout by Satellite. That's their second timeout of the second half. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Satellite go after this punt and try to block it. Relentless Private Equity Group LC is the management company for Relentless Private Equity Fund LP, focused on converting capital into investments in commercial real estate and early stage companies. For more information, call Larry Jarnes at 774-696-6000. Email Larry at larry@relentlesspeg.com or visit online at www.relentlesspeg.com. 4th into Fort Pierce for the Bulldogs. The punt team is out. We have a different punter. This time it is not Vatava. High snap. It's going to be handled by the punter. It's going to be a low kick. It's going to be about that kick didn't even make it back to the original line of scrimmage. So Satellite takes over 1st and 10 on Melbourne's 43-yard line. Great field position for Satellite. Number 18 was the kicker for Brady Clark, the senior kicker for Melbourne. That was the punter. We got any scores over there? Oh, Cocoa up 22-14 over St. Thomas in the third quarter. Palm Bay blowing out Harmony. Dan Burke's first home game since returning to the sideline. Durfus better come pick up his kid or I'm bringing him home. We got a game tomorrow. White in a quarterback, hands off jet sweep. Lamb, he gets to this outside. Brought down by Kevin Thorpe of the Bulldogs. Gain of 3. 2nd and 7.
That's right, I get the call play tomorrow.
Palm Bay's winning 47-0 over Harmony. Everybody gets to call play tomorrow. Daryl, we're letting the kids call the plays. Tristan White lined up under center. Noah Flores deep in the I formation. He had a big first half. Handoff goes to Flores. Not today, says Landon Malady. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 7 for Satellite. Good to see Melbourne's band switching up and playing some songs, some newer songs, Daryl. Played here and spent 10 years coaching here. We had to sing darn songs for 30 years. 3rd and 7 for Satellite. Lamb in motion. White takes the snap. Going to pitch it to Lamb again. Jet sweep. Breaks a tackle. Brought down at the 35-yard line. It's going to be a yard. We'll call it a yard and a half short of the first down. 4th and short for Satellite, and I imagine we're going forward here.
Make some noise for the defense. Get loud.
4th and 1 for Satellite. I formation. White lined up under quarterback. We're going to see a hands off Flores. Breaks the tackle, stretches forward, first down. A little counter tray, backside guard and tackle pulled, Daryl. Rockledge 37, Vieira 14. Well, the way them Rockledge coaches were talking on Spaces, it was supposed to be a running clock, but 1st and 10, Satellite. Rockledge looking to bounce back after a tough 2-week stretch against Seminole and the #1 team in Texas. Handoff goes to Flores. He breaks the tackle from Malady. He gets to the run in the opposite direction, left side. He's going to gain of 1. Loss of 3. Landon Malady had him wrapped up in the backfield, but the freshman Flores able to get out of the tackle. One thing you got to learn, Daryl, this ain't youth football. That field is the game's quicker. You can't reverse field like that very often. Game's a lot quicker, Daryl. Defenders close a lot faster. But hey, that freshman's made plenty of plays in 3 weeks for the Scorps. I'm a fan. White hands off the 24, right up the gut. He's got a big hole all the way down to the Melbourne 10-yard line. That's a 1st and goal. Satellite in a Natwick Insurance red zone. Logan Waite, the sophomore tailback, right up the gut. 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
That's a lot faster than here than 5-year-olds.
Satellite right back to the line of scrimmage. White under center. He's going to pitch it out right side. Flores looking to stretch it. Looks to get to the corner. Makes one man miss. Flores out of bounds around the 1-yard line. Flores comes up limping. See if he's all right. He's going to jog this one off. 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line for the Scorps. Satellite receiver Daryl literally standing on the sideline over there just to get the corner out of the play. White goes under center, takes the snap. White's fighting forward. Waiting for the official signal. Still have not gotten a signal. Touchdown, Satellite. We got a flag on a play. Aiding the runner on Satellite. That one's coming back.
Why didn't they just throw it out to the receiver?
Well, Melbourne's got a corner out there. They're calling Aiden a runner. You can push the offensive line. However, you cannot push the runner. Melbourne had somebody on the satellite's corner. Yeah, he's literally standing on the edge of the sideline over there. 1:09 left in the third quarter. O'Galley 28, Winter Haven 0. Titusville 42-0. Holy Trinity 35-0. Cocoa Beach 34-0. Fort Pierce Central 34-7. Not a lot of offense for them other teams there. Brevard County putting on a show tonight. Cocoa looking to pull off an upset. All right, so after a 5-yard penalty, it's 2nd and goal from the 6-yard line in the Natwick Insurance red zone for the Scorps. White under center. White's going to try to run a counter to 24. He breaks the tackle. Melbourne's defense has been in the backfield all night. They just got to wrap up. That was McNair on the cleanup tackle. I'm sure Coach Panucci watches film. We all know he does, but they're tackling not very good tonight for Melbourne. 28 seconds left in the third quarter and counting. Satellite 15, Melbourne 0. Tristan White getting a lot of reps here in the second half at quarterback. Oh, high snap, bad snap. White falls on it. He's going to be sacked for a 10-yard loss. Johnny Wright. We got an injured Bulldog on the field. That'll be the end of the third quarter, Daryl. That is Coach Mr. St. Mary, Dr. DeYoung, two of the best in the business.
He's fixing to cut me open in about a couple months.
Two of the best orthopedic surgeons in Brevard County. Them used to be the team doctors for University of Florida.
Old St. Mary.
Old Dr. DeYoung, USA team doctor in the Olympics back in Atlanta back in the day.
Actually, I have both of them cut on me. DeYoung's in my knee. And
15-0. Satellite leads here in the start of the fourth quarter. Randall Robinson's good. He's able to get off underneath his own power. Satellite 4th and goal from the 15-yard line. Satellite been hanging out in the Natwick Insurance red zone for the last 3 or 4 minutes. Daryl looking to punch one in.
they don't get here, they're probably sending the field goal unit out.
Bulldog legend Tracy Thorpe in the building. One of the best quarterbacks, if not the best quarterback to play here at Melbourne High School. Played for the Toronto Blue Jays. Daryl came to my birthday party when I was 8 years old. He went to school with my cousin. Told me he was Shaquille O'Neal. I believed him because he was like 6'7", 6'8". You know who his brother is?
Yeah, I'm coaching his kid.
Mike Hamilton, the greatest running back to play at Melbourne High School.
Him and Mike Hamilton, not Mike Hamilton, Kyle James.
Marlon, you can't touch it, Jacobs. Marlon, you can't touch it, Jacobs. Kyle James was Melbourne's had a plethora of good backs. T.J. Clark. That old man calling the defense down there, Jeff Panucci, was a 4-year starter for Melbourne, outside linebacker and running back.
I think his son's going to be better than him.
Satellite going to attempt the field goal to start the fourth quarter. Low snap. Kick is up. Kick is good. 18. Satellite leads the Bulldogs 18-0 with 11:46 left in the fourth quarter. Not sure why the clock is running. Clock should be stopped on the change of possession, but it's still running. 11:23 is where they finally stop it. Melbourne lost about 35 seconds. They're going to put some back on it. Don't worry, Daryl. All the fans let them know they're not supposed to run the clock. That's what they do. They let the coaches know when they're making bad calls, the referees when they're throwing flags, and then they tell the officials they need to fix clock. Don't you worry. There'll be a parent in the stands that can tell you what's supposed to be right at every football game. Coco 22-20. Waiting for the officials to reset the clock here. And we are 11:51 left in the ball game. Jalen Daly returning the kick. All the way back to the satellite 40-yard line. Big return for Melbourne. Melbourne looking to put some points up. They're down 18-0. 11:40 left. But we got a flag on the far side of the field. Blocking in the back on the Bulldogs. This one's coming back. I had to make sure my quarterback was getting home in time. So blocking the back on the 24-yard line. 10-yard penalty, so Melbourne, instead of having the ball on the satellite 40, will have the ball on their own 18 to start this drive. Daryl will join tonight by the legend Dan Hunger, West Melbourne football coach. I don't know if it's 3 or 4 or 5 Super Bowls, but he's got too many to count. So Melbourne lined up in a direct snap situation to Collins. The freshman tailback drops the snap. Breaks the tackle, looking for some room, breaks another tackle. All that for a gain of 2. Second and 8. It looks like at this point Melbourne is just trying anything they can on offense to muster up something. It's been a woeful few weeks for the offense here. You'll get that when you got a young core, a new offensive coordinator, a new quarterback. Bulldog fans, they'll be all right. Low snap again. Padala drops it this time. He's going to be recovered by Padala after a 6-yard loss. We got an injured Bulldog on the field. Oh, he's able to get up. Walk off under his own power. O'Galley up 35-0 over Winter Haven. I'm not going to tell you what Durand said because that's not going to come from my mouth, and I have the microphone. So we're going to refrain from the O'Galley Coco comment. No. Timeout Melbourne, 10:20 left in the ball game. You tell Allen you want to drop your top 5, but I'm not putting that in my mouth. These fans won't hear it from me. Tonight's broadcast brought to you by Rich's Auto Tech, home of the million-mile warranty. You think anybody's car's ever made it to 1,000,000 miles? Probably not. I know mine haven't. I trade them in after 20,000, so. Final 49-0 Titusville over Celebration. Big win for John Holmes. Padala throws a wheel route out of bounds, intended for number 19. Stick Martin, the new offensive coordinator for Titusville, has been putting up points the last 2 weeks. A lot of running clocks tonight. Anybody got the Heritage score? Fourth, 15 for Melbourne. Looking to find out who's going to punt the ball and who's not punting the ball. Here we go. All right, looks like number 10 is going back to punt. Jack Casey. He's going to kick a sky kick. Ball's going to be touched down by Melbourne on their own 26-yard line. Satellite takes over. 1st and 10. This drive brought to you by Black Rock Engineering. I'm ready to go home and sink a pirate ship tomorrow.
You ain't going to let me call play, so I'm going to go to work.
Rayfield throws a slant. Number 5, Tristan White, right up the gut. Touchdown, Satellite. Didn't look like Melbourne was even paying attention on the far side of the field. .55 left in the fourth quarter. Satellite strikes up 24-0, pinning the extra point. Cocoa 29, St. Thomas 20. Cypress Creek 34, MCC 13. Gonna have offsides on Melbourne. We'll see if Satellite goes for 2 or continues to kick. They're gonna decline the penalty so the ball doesn't move. Satellite's asking to decline the penalty so they don't have to move the kicker or the holder.
Satellite declines. Kicking the extra point.
Low snap. Kick is up and good. Rayfield has done a great job tonight of corralling the high and low snaps. 25-0 Satellite over Melbourne. 9:55 left in the fourth quarter. Again, Durand, these parents will let them know that they put an extra point on the board by mistake. Sometimes you might hit the finger, you might just press the button on accident. It's not, look, it's corrected in 30 seconds. These parents are crazy. Heritage is winning 13-0. Oof. I expected a lot more out of that one. Let's see what kind of excuses my father has tonight.
Maybe my pick of Oviedo might come into play next week.
9:55 left. Satellite 25. Melbourne 0. Number 3 to return the kick for Melbourne. Brought down around the 46-yard line. And I believe no flag. Well, we do got another flag on the far sideline again, the same as the last one. Holding on Satellite. Why would you decline it? Why would you not tack that on to the end of the run? That's why I'm up here, Durand. All right, so they will accept it. That'll be a 10-yard penalty tacked on to the end of the return. Melbourne takes over 1st and 10 on the Satellite 42-yard line. Terrence Jones tuning in to the broadcast. Longtime Bulldog assistant basketball coach. Padala takes the snap, rolling out right. Throws it quick to number 19. Caught at the line of scrimmage. No gain. Number 11 on the tackle for Satellite. Hard to run a flood route into the boundary. Mitchell Barton on the tackle for Satellite. 2nd and 10 for Melbourne. Padala takes snap, hands off to number 28. Freshman Kamarian Johnson brought down right away. Third and long for Melbourne. That was Zach. I can't pronounce your last name, buddy. Number 69 from Satellite. I won't butcher that one. 3rd and 10 for Melbourne. Heritage 21, Centennial 0. That Heritage defense is yet to give up a touchdown this year. Swing route, Daly around the left side. Good enough for a 12-yard gain and a Melbourne 1st down. Nice stick. Nice tackle for Satellite. I believe that's number 19. Paris Jarns. Coco 29, St. Thomas strikes 27. There goes Daly up the gut. Melbourne gets on the board. 30-yard touchdown run by number 3, Jalen Daly, the sophomore running back.
30-yard pickup for the Bulldogs with 6 points on the board for Melbourne.
Melbourne lined up to go for 2. .43 seconds left in the Coco game. They're up 2 over St. Thomas. Padala takes snap, hands off again, up the middle. Daly. He's in. 25-8. 8:08 left in the fourth quarter. That touchdown brought to you by Rich's Auto Tech. Melbourne set to kick off. Be an onside kick. It doesn't go 10 yards. Melbourne touched it, so Satellite will take over right on the Melbourne 47-yard line. So it looks like we got illegal touching and possibly helmet-to-helmet on Satellite. Illegal touching by Melbourne and a helmet-to-helmet on the hit from Satellite. Looks like Wyatt Vatava's night is done. His shoulder pads are off and the helmet are off. And, folks, it looks like the Cocoa Tigers just knocked off St. Thomas Aquinas 29-27. The Cocoa. Yes, I'm watching it right here. Cocoa advances to 3-0 in a juggernaut slate. Jones, Venice, St. Thomas Aquinas. That may have been the third quarter, Daryl. It looks like it's still the fourth. Who knows? When it's an audio-only broadcast here, so I apologize. That is not the final. Back here, Satellite 1st and 10 on their own 36-yard line after the 15-yard helmet-to-helmet penalty. Quarterback throws the right side. That's number 13. He's got some wheels, makes a man miss. Brought down by Johnny Wright at the 40. Big 20-yard gain for the Scorpions. Gain of 2 around the right side for Satellite. 7:47 and rolling.
Short gain for Satellite, 2nd down.
Satellite going to try to run some clock here. The Rifle is back in at quarterback. They lead the Bulldogs 25-8. 7:15 left to end the ball game. Rifle looks like the center snapped it by mistake. Rifle's going to throw it downfield, almost intercepted. Little miscommunication there by the Satellite offense brings up 3rd and 7. 6:57 left in the ball game. Handoff goes left side. That's 24. He's brought down by Johnny Wilson. Great tackle by the middle linebacker. After a gain of 4, 4th down and 3 for Satellite. Satellite going to go for it here. 6:25 and rolling. $17-point lead. Rayful lined up in the gun. Takes a snap. It's going to hand off right side. 24. Brought down by Landon Maldy. It's going to be turnover on downs. Melbourne football. Great job by the junior, Landon Maldy. Officials, timeout, water break. This water break brought to you by Black Rock Engineering and Technologies team of cybersecurity software network engineers and strategic leaders are direct. They do not shy away from providing you with what they think will work best for your organization. BlackRock is a certified service, disabled, veteran-owned small business as well as a minority-owned business. BlackRock will collaborate with you. They will challenge traditional norms in order to orient an organization to a mindset full of forward thinking in order to seize their vision quickly without fluff, without wasted time. BlackRock Engineering and Technology, 321-428-3688. Back to the field. 1st and 10 Melbourne on their own 32-yard line. Padala looking to throw. He's going to try to throw this one. Does get it out. Number 69 applying the pressure for Satellite.
Second down for the Bulldogs.
Second and 10 for Melbourne. 6:01 left in the ball game. Another sack by Satellite's defense.
You know, back in the old days,
That'll be a loss of 2.
coach would put the line at freaking running back.
3rd and long for Melbourne. 5:40 and rolling. Padala takes a snap. Throws the wheel route to number 19. Oh, in and out of his hands. Intended for number 19 of the Bulldogs. 4th and 10 for Melbourne. You know, Daryl, an observation, not that it matters because I'm sitting up here with you, but I'd be willing to bet if someone goes back and watches the tape of Melbourne's offense, about 80 to 90% of their plays come to their sideline, no matter which direction they're going in. I don't know if that's by design or what. Deep ball up to number 10, incomplete. Great coverage by number 2 from Satellite. Not sure if we got a flag here or incomplete pass. 1st and 10, Satellite on their Bulldog 33-yard line.
First and 10 for Satellite from the 32.
Rayful back in at quarterback in the I formation. Noah Flores makes a man miss, makes another man miss. Holy moly, that youngster can run. Daryl makes 2 guys miss, at least to get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 for Satellite. 4:50 and rolling. Satellite 25, Melbourne 8. We got a post-game show tonight. I know Alan's on the road, so maybe Caleb or Jackson will handle that. Can always tune in to Twitter Spaces. PRMD Martell Stevens will be live on Twitter. Handoff right side. Noah Flores is going to be brought down by number 8 immediately of Melbourne. Gang tackle from the Bulldogs. 3rd and 10 for Satellite. Third and long for Satellite, 3:45 and rolling. Rayful lined up in the shotgun, got trips to the wide side. Sends a man in motion. We got a flag. Offsides on Melbourne. 5-yard penalty. Bring up 3rd down and 5 for Satellite.
Instead of 3rd and 10, now we have 3rd and 5 for Satellite.
3rd and 5 for Satellite. No, it wasn't over. Still in the 4th quarter. Coco scores, so Coco leading St. Thomas 36-27 in the 4th quarter. Rayful takes a snap, hands off. 24 around the left side. Big Johnny Wright again. The senior leader for the Bulldogs on the tackle. .248 left in the ball game. 4th and we'll call it 4 for Satellite. Rayful takes a snap, throws a quick out to 24 on the swing, breaks the tackle, good enough for a Satellite 1st down. Satellite should be able to milk the clock here. .152 left, 1st and 10 Satellite in the Natwick Insurance red zone. Rayful's going to hand off to Flores. Landon Maldy meets him at the line of scrimmage, but that young man keeps him legs going. Flag comes flying in. We either got a holding or a face mask. holding on Satellite.
First and 20 for Satellite.
1:25 left in the ball game. First and 20 for Satellite. Rayful takes a snap. He's going to keep this one. He's going to roll out left. He's got some running room. Brought down right away by number 8. We got another holding penalty on Satellite.
Making sure we know they won.
Do you think that these parents think that anybody on that field can actually hear what they're saying?
I could hear them when I coach.
That's because you listened for it, Daryl. I guarantee you, anybody on that field right now ain't listening to what nobody up here got to say.
I got good ears.
Yelling about an official's call when you're down by 18 with a minute left. Pick your battles. First and 30 for Satellite. Clock is running. Satellite going to wait to snap this one. Back judge will put his hand in the air when there's 10 seconds left. And he does. Rayful's going to run a draw. Down the sideline, makes a man miss. Stays in bounds all the way to the 20-yard line. That's a 16-yard run. 36 seconds left. They should not have to run another play. Daryl, Melbourne's going to fall to 0-3. Next Friday, they'll host Orange Park. Satellite goes to 2-1 with back-to-back big victories over Vieira and Melbourne. Not sure who Satellite has next week. Folks, we appreciate you tuning in tonight. 36-34. Well, Rockledge 53-21. Satellite, this will be the biggest win against Melbourne, Daryl, and maybe forever in quite a very long time. Again, great job to the Satellite Scorpions. Melbourne Bulldogs fall. Satellite 25, Melbourne 8. We appreciate you tuning into the Brevard Sports Network. Melbourne hosts Orange Park next week right here on the Brevard Sports Network. Daryl Durand will be on that call. We appreciate you for tuning in. Have a good night.